Dear student, today we'll cover the article number 14.2, that is the conventional sources of energy. And this is under the chapter 14. You can see chapter 14, sources of energy. So previous video already I have covered the introduction of this chapter, and with that the good fuel and good sources of energy up to this. And today we'll cover the conventional sources of energy. Dear student, if you skipped my previous video, unfortunately, then watch the previous video first, then come to the present video. You know there is an interrelation in between the videos. So present video is somehow based on the previous video. So watch it, then come back to present video. If you want to watch the previous video, then click on the I button in your screen, top right corner of your screen, and you can watch the previous video. And after watch this video, comment it, and those who have not subscribed my channel, subscribe it. Now, in this video, I will talk about the fossil fuel. So what is fossil fuel and fate of the fossil fuel, and why we have to think about the alternative of the fossil fuel, and the disadvantages of the fossil fuel, and the advantages of the renewable sources of energy, that is the non-conventional sources of energy. And finally, what is the impact on the fossil fuel burning on the nature? We have to talk about that also. So we'll cover it. And finally, we'll read one activity 14.3, that is, in this activity, I'll tell you what is happening inside the thermal power plant. Thermal plant, it is actually a small scale model demonstration which describes the process of thermoelectric production, that means the thermal power station. What is happening inside the nature, the thermal power station, what is happening in Southerly, all about that we'll study. And finally, we'll talk about the thermal power plant. Thermal power plant always situated very close to the coal field. Why? And second question is a very good question. It comes often in the board exams. That is, why when the electricity produced in the thermal power plant, why they have fed this electricity to the grid with a higher voltage? And you have often see in your locality there is a step down transformer. Why it is necessary? Why the step down transformer are fitted in your locality? So all these things you have already seen. 33,000 kilovolt, tremendous kilovolt electricity is flowing in the line, electricity line. Why so much heavy voltage electricity are flowing? So this has a reason. Obviously I will talk about that in this video. So stay tuned and watch the video till the end. Now read this fossil fuel.
In ancient times, wood was the most common source of heat energy. The energy of flowing water and wind was also used for limited activities. Can you think of some of these uses? The exploitation of coal as a source of energy made the Industrial Revolution possible. Increasing industrialization has led to a better quality of life all over the world. It has also caused the global demand for energy to grow at a tremendous rate. The growing demand for energy was largely met by the fossil fuels coal and petroleum. Our technologies were also developed for using these energy sources. But these fuels were formed over millions of years ago and there are only limited reserves. The fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy, so we need to conserve them. If we were to continue consuming these sources at such alarming rates, we would soon run out of energy. In order to avoid this, alternate sources of energy were explored. But we continue to be largely dependent on fossil fuels for most of our energy requirements. Fig 14.1.
So dear student, maximum energy we harness from the fossil fuels, and fossil fuels are mainly the coal and petroleum. And if we use this energy it is such type of alarming rate, then we'll near future run out of energy we'll have to face. That's why the alternative sources of energy we have to think. So these energies are renewable sources of energy. Examples of the renewable sources of energy will be solar energy, hydroelectric energy, wind energy. So many types of energy. We'll talk about that one by one. And finally, when we burn such type of fossil fuel, they will emit such type of gases like carbon dioxide, nitrogen and sulfur dioxide, and they will mix with the air, and finally they will mix with the water also. And what is the fate? What is the final reaction? It will give you some types of acids, sulfuric acids, nitric acid, such type of acid, acidic oxides give you the acid. So that is the effect of the acids are acid rain, and it will affect our water and soil resources. So that's why we have to think over it. So the alternate source of energy, not only it will run out in the near future, but also we have to think about our nature also. So there is a think it over. So read it.
How would our lives change if we could no longer get electricity supply? The availability of electrical energy to each individual in a country is one of the parameters to measure the growth of the country.
So you have understood. So growth of the country depends upon the electricity consumption. So on the electricity consumption, one can think about that the country is developed or not. So now the remaining portion, read it.
The pollution caused by burning fossil fuels can be somewhat reduced by increasing the efficiency of the combustion process and using various techniques to reduce the escape of harmful gases and ashes into the surroundings. Besides being used directly for various purposes in gas stoves and vehicles, do you know fossil fuels are the major fuels used for generating electricity? Let us produce some electricity at our own small plant in the class and see what goes into producing our favorite form of energy.
Nowadays also, it depends mostly on the fossil fuels, and fossil fuels we have developed our technology so that the finally it will emit very minimum ashes and harmful gases. Maximum energy is produced in the world by burning coal. What is happening inside the thermal power plant, I will describe you one by one. So that's why the activity 14.3.
Take a table tennis ball and make 3 slits into it. Put semicircular fins cut out of a metal sheet into these slits. Pivot the tennis ball on an axle through its center with a straight metal wire fixed to a rigid support. Ensure that the tennis ball rotates freely about the axle.
Now connect a cycle dynamo to this. Connect a bulb in series. Direct a jet of water or steam produced in a pressure cooker at the fins. Fig 14.2. What do you observe?
So these are the arrangements. You can see the pressure cooker. The topmost lid we have opened it, and there we have fit one steam pipe. And now heat is given to the water. Water will be converted to the steam, and finally steam come out and passes through the pipe and falls on the fins of the tennis ball. And it is fitted such a way it will rotate. And this arrangement we have placed inside a magnet, pole pieces. And there is a formula. It is the formula known as the Fleming's, according to the Fleming's right hand rule. When the fins are, this is actually the fins and the tennis ball serves the turbine. When the turbine rotates due to the forces and pressure of the steam, then induced EMF, induced electricity will be produced. And due to this induced electricity, the bulb which is connected in the series, it will glow. And that is actually what is happening inside the thermal power plant in a large scale. So this is the demonstration, this is the model, and it is a simplified overview. And what is happening inside the thermal power plant, technology advanced procedure has been adopted.
This is our turbine for generating electricity. The simplest turbines have one moving part, a rotor blade assembly. The moving fluid acts on the blades to spin them and impart energy to the rotor. Thus, we see that basically we need to move the fan, the rotor blade, with speed which would turn the shaft of the dynamo and convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy, the form of energy which has become a necessity in today's scenario. The various ways in which this can be done depends upon availability of the resources. We will see how various sources of energy can be harnessed to run the turbine and generate electricity in the following sections.
So in the following sections, we'll harness actually the electricity by different types of means, by different way. Sometimes it will be thermal power plant, sometimes it will be hydroelectric power plant, sometimes it will be wind energy mill. So whatever may be, you have to turn the turbine. And finally, by a dynamo, the EMF, that is the electromotive force, that is the induced current will be produced. That is the main theme.
Large amount of fossil fuels are burned every day in power stations to heat up water to produce steam, which further runs the turbine to generate electricity. The transmission of electricity is more efficient than transporting coal or petroleum over the same distance. Therefore, many thermal power plants are set up near coal or oil fields. The term thermal power plant is used since fuel is burned to produce heat energy, which is converted into electrical energy.
The transmission of the electricity is more efficient than transporting the coal or petroleum over a same distance. That's why coal fields, thermal power plant generally situated very near to the coal fields. It is the cost saving method, And there is a question, when the current, electricity is produced inside the thermal power plant, we have done, that means we have fed this electricity, we have upgraded this electricity to a higher value of voltage, higher voltage. Why we have upgraded and fed to the electricity in the power grid with a higher voltage? This is the question, and this is done by a step up transformer. And in the locality where you live, there is a step down transformer. You have seen each and every locality there is a transformer. What is happening actually? What current, what electricity we have produced? So when it transmits over a wire or a long distance by wire, there is a heating effect. Due to heating effect, maximum energy will be lost, maximum energy will be dissipated and converted to the heat energy. So that is not desirable. So that's why we have upgraded the voltage to a high value. When the voltage will be upgraded, for a same power, there is a formula P is equal to VI. P is equal to VI. So if we increase the voltage to some high value, then obviously to keep the power same or constant, current will be reduced. So when the current will be reduced, there is a formula, that is the heating effect of the Joule, that is I square RT. There is a formula which was I square RT, So heat energy mostly depends on I. There's a square part is there, square term is there. So if a small change in I, the big change in the heat. That's why if we decrease the current in this way, if we increase the voltage, current will be decreased for the same power. So if current will be decreased, there is a square term, so heat will be decreased a much extent. We have to think about what energy we have harnessed with burning coal. That energy must not be dissipated at the transmission phase due to heat. That's why we always make one step up transformer at the point of the thermal power station, and each and every time there is a locality, there is a step down transformer. Dear student, if high voltage current is coming to your house, to your home, all the appliances runs in the 220 volt, about 110 to 220 volt. So in this tremendous voltage, any apparatus will not work. So that's why there is a step down transformer in your locality. So that's why all the apparatus, your fridge, your computer, your all appliances, electrical appliances will work properly. So that is the sum up today. Dear student, if you like the video, then don't forget to subscribe my channel. Also comment on that. Thank you for watching this video.